this is always a fun question, like advice, like personal advice, or maybe something that has helped you along the way, or just like a little gold nugget of like info from the business that you want to share. Ooh, okay, Ian, your hand went right up, so you get to go first.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've asked this question to other people, and other people have told me this very simple and easy answer: be a nice person on set and be cool to work with. And that is one of the biggest things, because, you know, after a little bit, you can understand lighting, you can have a style, all these things. Everyone's got that. But if you're nice and if you're respectable and if you have a good attitude and if you're hardworking and all those things, and people want to be around you, then you're going to get hired more.
Yeah.
Very true.
If I could add to that, I would say we're saying that getting on set as a PA is kind of like the starting ground. I had a PA that kind of got thrown to me as a swing here recently, and he sat down on lunch. He wants to be a director, and he sat down and asked every head of department what gear they used, why they used it, and just literally every department. And I thought it was so cool that he wants to know the insides and outs, and especially aspiring DPs. I highly recommend that you guys spend time in G&E. Because if you're going to get on some bigger setups where you're calling for, you know, Condor cranes and stuff like that, like you need to understand how big of a appeal that's going to be to your production, how much time it's going to take for a turnaround when you flip worlds, stuff like that. Like you really need to understand what you're asking and know how to utilize certain techniques. So anybody who wants to be a DP, be a gaffer first.
Awesome. Luke, what about you?
Well, I always have my five A's: attitude, aptitude, anticipation, attention to detail, and then just a touch of assertiveness, you know, are sort of the five, aspects of being a good crew person.
That's beautiful. Great. Yeah. Anticipation is definitely a big one for me. But those are all equally valid.
Those are wonderful. Nice. Art?
Oh, lots. It's interesting to see DPs who come up through gapping versus DPs who come through camera, because I often see that they have different strengths. You know, a lot of the times the DPs I've seen who come up through gapping, they'll be really strong at lighting, but maybe not know so much about the camera or lenses or camera moves. Whereas the DPs who come up through assisting will know more about that kind of stuff, but they'll rely maybe more on the gaffer. And I think over time they become good at whatever they're missing. But initially there's, I've seen patterns. It's really interesting. The thing that I found is it's always good to, as a DP, and this is true of directors too, it's not your job to do everything. It's not your job to know everything. You just need to know where you're going. So what you need to do is, for example, if I'm working with Luke, and I would say, here's what I want to do, and here's how I'm thinking of doing it. Is there a better, what do you think? And, about half the time Luke would say, well, there's another way to do this that'll get you to the same place. It'll be faster and cheaper and simpler. And then you kind of go, okay, great. I very quickly learned not to say, I want you to put a piece of speed rail up there and clamp the light up and do this and that. And I'd rather, say, I need a backlight up there. I need this much power. I want it to be, this much heat. I want it to be a little soft. And then they would say, yeah, great. I'd say, how long? 10 minutes. Perfect. And then I'd see what they would do. And half the time what they did would be something I've never seen before, because your crew is working with lots of different people and solving lots of different problems all the time. And you're just working with you. So it's always a good idea to tell people what you want. And sometimes you have to be specific and say, the look I want is this light in that spot. And I know that's going to work. But a fair amount of the time, if you just describe what you want, often your crew will help you get there in a faster, more efficient way. So, and then you learn what that is, and then your knowledge level goes up, and you get the benefit from the fact that they're working with lots of different people and solving lots of different problems. What I've also found is that the nicer you are to your crew, the more they will have your back. I remember watching a DP work when I was an assistant, and he said, okay, I want a 20 by silk, overhead, right there. And the key grip would say, well, the sun's going that way. Said, no, put it right there. I want it right there. Okay, they put it up. We rolled up one take. And then suddenly grip crew's coming out, moving it over because the sun's coming out from behind the silk. So that's the other part is, learn to, trust your crew and let your crew do their job. Because if you don't do that, then at some point they're going to stop saying stuff. And they're going to see that the train coming down the track. You know, you're going to be looking at the train. They're going to see the bridges out and they're not going to say anything. And you really want a crew where you've got that kind of relationship where they're going to say, hey, you know, the bridge is out. Let me help you with that. And that's really just the best way to work with a crew, I think.
The only it's super wise. The only time I've seen crews mutiny, it was for the person's best interest. Whoever they were mutinying on, it's because they were sort of doing that. They're like, we're gonna set him up for failure because that's what he deserves in this situation because he's sort of made his own bed. So yeah, I mean, you got to take care of your crew. That's job one for sure.
Well, it's just respect, and it's taking advantage of the fact that you don't know everything. And that works at every level, especially with the directors. You know, the best directors I've worked with are the ones who said, I don't have to have every idea. I'm just going to tell you whether your idea works or not.
Nice.
Excellent. Jose?
Well, this time asks for caring and serving. We all are confined and trying to innovate the different ways of doing things. And the best has been told by everyone of the panel. Of course, you have to be careful, you have to be humble, and you have to serve. This is our motto. That's what we say. If you care to others and for others, things will improve. Even in these difficult times that we are all having, and stay safe and take distance and have a mask. This is something that we really need to do right now to keep on going and doing fantastic productions that we need, no?
Absolutely. And Pamela?
You know, everybody has said exactly what I would say in different words and ways, and it's been incredible. I started off as an actress really young, and I was bugging everybody on set. Oh, what is that? What is this? What do you do? What is that for? What's this? And, you know, a wonderful production manager asked me if I wanted to be a PA on her next set, and I was like, absolutely. And you know, that's where I came up, and it's that eagerness, and being a good PA will open so many doors to which direction you want to go in your film career.
Absolutely. And Justin, since you know a lot about this area and just film overall, do you want to add anything today?
Oh shoot, yeah. No, I don't have it. I would say that you know, in every step of filmmaking, much about what Art was saying is like, and I have to remind myself all the time, it's like when you're a writer, you have to give enough information so that the director can take and understand the information so that they can bring their spin to it. When you're a director, you need to give that to the actor so that they can put their spin on it. And it's the same with the crew. As a DP, maybe you have to put what you want and explain that to them so that your crew members can do that. And then the gaffer and the key grip can do that to the people who are working for them. I think that level of respect at every single level, all throughout the filmmaking process, is super important. Not necessarily telling people what to do, but telling people what you want to achieve. And I'm always having to remind myself of that, and not just be like, I want this here, but say, I want this effect. How can we do that? What's the best way?
Yeah, it's a creative industry, and everyone who's working in it wants to be creative. So if you're allowing everyone to be creative in their own little space, then they're going to be a much more value.
No
Wonderful.
doubt.
Well, thank you everyone for all of that advice. You might be looking at Shoot Stop Video and thinking, so how does this all work? Is this about A, setting up the whole crew for me? B, just giving me options and having me handle it? Or C, something in between? Well, it's D, all of the above. To put it simply, we're here to help you in any way that we can to get the crew and talent you need for your next production. We believe that every level of video production can benefit from a well-maintained list of qualified crew members for every position. This goes for pre-pro, on-set, and for post. Every project is different, so if you need a producer to help manage the decision-making process, then we can totally do that. If you're already a producer and want to build your own crew from scratch, then go for it. We're here to make your next production a success. And if you are crew or talent looking for producers that want you, then you've come to the right place. Sign up now, and also leave a referral for any solid people that you know that are already on here. Thank you for considering Shoot Stop Video, and happy shooting.